Hello, my name is Talal Al-Kinawi. I'm a senior director in the Azure marketing team here at Microsoft. As I mentioned in my recent blog, customers and partners are benefiting from Azure Stack HCI innovation. Businesses are optimizing the delivery of their services in a new and cost-effective ways in an increasingly remote work environment. The Benenden School was an early adopter of Azure Stack HCI to deliver centralized management, stretched clustering, and built-in hybrid capability on seamless compute platform.
I am the systems administrator. My name is Andrew Frantz. I work at Benenden School. We are a fully boarding girls' school. Our students come from all around the world. We're based in Kent, down in the southeast of England. About the beginning of last year, we were at that point where we were needing to look at refreshing our hardware for our production cluster. We need to look at something that's stable, reliable, it boosts performance and improves security. And I guess being a boarding school with international students, we need to have a really highly available system, which is essentially running 24/7, 365 days of the year. It does add that extra pressure to make sure that our core systems meet that extra demand and they're agile and flexible enough to bend to the changing environment. We need to look at what's new and how we can modernize our data center. In our environment, we've got our data center where we have two data centers on one site on our campus. And the two data centers, they exist in two different buildings. And our Hyper-V cluster stretches across the two data centers. This means that we have automatic failover. And this is done through just standard production servers doing the compute and a kind of robust iSCSI SAN providing all the storage. So that was kind of one of the key things that we need to meet that requirement of having a cluster that stretches across these two data centers. We were essentially looking at two choices, right? So we could stay in our comfort zone and go with separate compute and storage solutions. But if we were going to do that, we'd probably have to spread out the implementation over 2 years. Or we go with a hyper-converged solution. And when we're looking at HCI at that time, there wasn't anything really like stretch clustering. It was things like Hyper-V replicas and automated scripts. And from our standpoint, from where we were, that I think would have been a retrograde step. It would have been a bit of a backward step for us.
My name is Howard Lowe. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at DataOn. DataOn is a technology company based in Southern California, and we're specialized in delivering a hybrid cloud computing solution based on Microsoft Azure Stack HCI. DataOn really made an exclusive choice to go with Microsoft technology to deliver our ultimate solution for our customers. But for that solution, we need to also have a building blocks for the infrastructure, which is the hardware, which is our Intel technology. Either whether or not through a refresh of the hardware or because they need to have technology that meet the workload requirements. And we're fortunate enough that through Microsoft, Benenden was referred to us, and we were able to get on the call and really understand their requirements and deliver them a complete hybrid cloud computing solution. The relationship doesn't start selling hardware. The relationship starts by understanding their requirements, understanding their application, understanding the workload, and really listening to the customer, like Andrew, and then really architecting a complete solution that meets that requirement based on really two key technology. One is the Microsoft software. One is the Intel hardware that really is, I would say, the computing building block of the entire Azure Stack HCI. At the end of the day, customer really owns the infrastructure. Our value is to transfer that knowledge to the customer fully, so they could really understand how to manage that infrastructure. I know that Andrew worked very closely with our sales engineer, Jason, to really test the system, to set up the system, to deploy the system, to take it down and break the system to make sure that the entire infrastructure meet the requirement, that he has a peace of mind. That if something happens to the infrastructure, he knows how to bring it back up. He knows who to call. He knows the knowledge base to really resolve issues and maintain and manage the entire infrastructure complete.
We moved into testing the new environment for fault tolerance. So we had our virtual machines just automatically fade over to the second site. And then we just started taking down the nodes one by one till we remained with one node. And then we just started pulling disks out, and all the services carried on running happily. A lot of this stuff is new to us. One of the things were the interconnects between the nodes of the server. And we have a stretch cluster between two different sites. So all of our nodes need to be able to go across the network anyway, with these interconnects getting in the way. And we worked out that actually it was all the kind of the RDMA SMB traffic that the Storage Spaces Direct was utilizing those interconnects over the network thing because it was more performant. And it was gonna choose those above everything else.
The foundation of all the technology that we deliver to the marketplace today really is built upon the Microsoft technology, coming from Storage Spaces in 2012 to Storage Spaces Direct in 2016-19, and today really in a complete package of solution called Azure Stack HCI, consolidating the traditional SAN infrastructure from a 3-tier infrastructure to a hyper-converged infrastructure. Second is really cost. We could really offer the cost benefit to the customer by really offer them a very, very efficient, highly validated solution that's really commodity hardware, but really deliver the performance they need, running on a software platform that deliver all the capability they want. And number 3 really is the future, really understanding a technology and a partner like Microsoft that not only offer a on-premises infrastructure, but also deliver that capability of connecting to the cloud and really building a hybrid cloud infrastructure for our customer so the customer have a choice.
Hey, my name is Dion Hubert. I'm part of Intel Corporation, and I'm globally responsible for the relationship between Microsoft and Intel. Azure Stack HCI is a world-class hyper-converged infrastructure stack solution that includes many great features. Intel provided those validated and certified service systems with Microsoft Azure Stack HCI to Data-On. And then Data-On added their value services on top of that to provide a complete turnkey solution to Benedict School. Those Intel servers are pre-validated service systems that offers partners like Data-On an expedited path to market with the best experience for our partners itself, as well for our end customers. And so what we basically did is we provided all those solutions in a validated system to Data-On. And then Data-On basically put their added value service on top of that and combined that with the OS of Azure Stack HCI. And that whole validated solution got sold to Benedict School, who used it as a stretch cluster across their organization. Intel have been working really closely together with Microsoft over the last year to make sure that the new Azure Stack HCI has the best features, as well as the best hardware optimized for their software. And so combining that with the Data-On platform, it really helped us to accelerate this whole platform to the next level, making sure that the silicon is optimized, the networking is working the best way. Combining that as well with storage like our SSDs and persistent memory really enables our customers to get the best hyper-converged infrastructure solution in their organization.
My name is Ellen Kirby. I'm a senior program manager on the team that is called Azure Customer and Partner Engineering. HCI is really part of the Azure ecosystem, and it's an extension of your hybrid cloud. So we want to understand, how do we best put that in customers' hands to make their lives easier, to make their technology more efficient? And in a traditional data center model, you would have storage and you would have compute, and they would be separate systems. And when you've got storage in one place and compute in another, you're not always going to drive the best performance. What we're really moving forward with in hyper-converged infrastructure is putting that all under the covers in one device, and then putting those devices together into a clustered scenario with software-defined networking and software-defined storage. And because Azure Stack HCI is to a certain degree that Swiss Army knife of infrastructure and hypervisor, we can do a lot of different things to meet a lot of different customer needs. So we can align with our technology to provide this great solution that is cost-effective and performant.
So one of the fundamental things for us is the build quality. Has it been benchmarked? Is it certified to run with Hyper-V or Azure Stack HCI? With the HCI solutions, it's all based on Intel architecture, and that's what we're looking at build with Data-On. Everything was Intel framework, and then make sure that when they're changing their software code and their hardware code, all of that's moving together in alignment. And that helps in the sense of improving the security of your platform, making sure everything's secure. And Azure Stack HCI comes into play with this, with your cluster-aware updating. So it's taking both of those things, the hardware component, which is what Intel's bringing to the table in our scenario, and the Microsoft side of things, which is the software side, which is Azure Stack HCI, and cluster-aware updating is doing that orchestration of the updating, making sure that all these things move forward at the same time, just keeping that kind of secure platform. And now with cluster-aware updating, you're kind of bringing in that confidence of being able to patch your hardware and your software while keeping systems running and not actually affecting users in any way. That's going to make a big difference for us.
Number one component is, do you have the most reliable and cutting-edge hardware building block infrastructure to build that solution, right? That to me is Intel. And we're committed to the technology, and all our solutions are built on that incredible building block of compute and storage. The second piece is really the orchestration, the software piece of it, making sure that the entire workload are being run efficiently in the innovation of features that continue to bring to market to help our customer. And that technology and software feature really is delivered by Microsoft, because these are enterprise solutions that needs to be robust, needs to be resilient, needs to make sure that it works. It just works.
IntelStack Solutions is a platform where Intel set high standards for certain configurations to make sure that our customers have the best possible performance inside their organization. And so by combining select solutions with the added value services from Data On, as well the OS from Microsoft with Azure Stack HCI, you have an in-house best solution for Azure Stack HCI.
One of the most amazing things about what Andrew has accomplished with Azure Stack HCI is taking advantage of a new technology that we've released exclusively to HCI, which is stretch clustering. That really allows you to extend your cluster across 2 sites or locations, in his case, 2 buildings. So moving forward, we're really able to utilize the capabilities of Azure Stack HCI to give him this high availability he wanted across 2 locations. But one of the things that I think is consistent across every vertical is the desire to have a hybrid cloud strategy. But what we see is the ability to truly extend these amazing features that we have out in Azure to that need that you have to keep certain content in your data center. Provide that best capability of having those resources on-prem or in your Azure cloud subscription and be able to manage and utilize them all through Azure Arc.
A lot of customers come from the traditional world of SAN, where they have a very beautiful interface GUI. Microsoft delivered that through the Windows Admin Center, where you could really visualize, see your entire infrastructure in a single pane of glass. That's very, very important, right? You can see how many VMs you're running, what is the current performance in terms of IOPS. Data On, in addition to that, extends that capability through our own software solution, monitoring solution called Must. And with Must, we deliver complete visibility into your infrastructure. And that's very critical. You have to know exactly where the hard drive and SSD is. You got to have alert services to ensure that if something happens, you get alert on your mobile while you're somewhere else, not in front of your infrastructure. Those are capability to Must. But one critical piece for the new Azure Stack HCI is the concept of integrated system. Integrated system is a new configuration or system built to ensure that we deliver that complete experience to the customer, both from Microsoft, Intel, and Data On.
We made sure that the solution we built with Intel validated hardware, as well the OS from Microsoft, together with the Data On services, that it really comes together in a single solution with the best performance for our customer.
What Andrew has done at Benedin is have this willingness to take on this new technology and drive it to the success within what they were trying to accomplish in their refreshment of their hardware. And what I think really hits home for us with Azure Stack HCI is it's paving that road to being able to manage your hybrid cloud from Azure, from the resources we have out there, and extend those resources on-prem. And it's just exciting to see customers like Andrew at Benedin being able to leverage that technology and move their businesses in a way that maybe would have been very difficult to do 5 and 10 years ago.